I must protect Shy Yeti.
How are you? Hope you're fine. This is the Shy Yeti show.
Okay, away you go.
Why have I got horns?
Oh no.
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, there's going to be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Good boy. He's not all that shy, is right.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, Paul.
Quack, quack, quack.
I don't know how he does it.
Excellent. 727.
727.
Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shy Life Podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? Oh, I'm all right. So, what's this episode going to be about? Well, I don't know if you remember. It's sort of back around the start of the year. We had that Chatterbox episode, and I got some presents. Well, we all got presents, but I got a little robot teddy bear called Scrappy. Unfortunately, something happened to him, and he fell into the sink, and he had to be taken away to be repaired. I haven't heard anything about it, and I've been worried. I've been thinking about him. Anyway, so that's what this episode is going to be about. Being worried about Scrappy and talking to Grizzly about it, and then trying to find him, because I knew that Yeti Uncle John and Cromitty knew where he was. Anyway, so let's run the theme music. When we come back, you'll hear more about this. So okay, let's run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
Yeah, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The highlight, the Shy Life.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
Hello, campers. How are you?
Oh, yippee.
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. I think he has.
I love the Yeti'S. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and meaty and yum, 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 yum.
It was enormous.
I don't think I'm ready to speak about it. Here comes the Grizzly.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
I can't wait for it to begin.
I like that.
Hi there.
Marvelous, Paul.
Oh dear, I can't believe that old bag is still around.
Oh, Grizzly, I'm so glad you're here. It's always good when you come to visit.
I'm always happy to visit you.
Well, I'm glad you say that. But I know it's a long way to come, and it always seems to be that you have to come to me. But I think it's just the way it's just the easiest for me, I'm afraid, at the moment.
It's not a problem.
Well, I've been thinking. I've been a bit sad the last day or so. Do you remember Scrappy? Did you meet Scrappy, or did I just tell you about him? My little robot teddy bear.
I didn't meet him, but you showed me the videos.
Oh yeah. You know how he ended up in the sink or whatever it was? I'm still not sure quite how that happened. He got sent to a teddy bear hospital. Well, I've just not heard anything about him. It's been months. I'm worried about him.
Yeah, that's weird. I think you should ask the boys about it, because I'm sure they sent him to the toy hospital.
Yes, and Ozzy was supposed to be delivering him, and there was some problem with that as well. Yeah, I think you're right. I need to ask the boys, at least, Yeti Uncle John and Cromitty. They must know where he is.
Yeah, definitely they should know something about it.
Oh, just a minute. I think here comes somebody. Hello. Cromitty, how are you? I'm fine. Oh, Grizzly, how nice to see you. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you, Cromitty?
Oh, I'm good. Yes. I've just been getting some bits and pieces in the laboratory. Oh, you know what? I don't know how I ever had time to work in that supermarket. Now the lab is back up and running. I'm so busy with projects and research and things. And That's the way it should be, Cromitty, because working in that supermarket is all very well, but it's not your main gig, is it? No, it was not. And I had to work with that awful Wilson Comet. Oh yes, but you didn't know he was awful then. No, to think that he was stabbing us in the back the whole time. Yes, well, goodness knows where he is. Just hopefully not anywhere close. Well, I mean, he threatened poor Reginald, but I know we've not heard anything from him, have we? No, that's true. Cromitty, I had a question for you. Oh, yes. Well, what was it? I was talking with Grizzly. Grizzly and I, we were talking, weren't we, Grizzly?
Yes.
About Scrappy. About who? Scrappy. You remember Scrappy? Oh, basically, was he that squirrel that lived in the tree? No, I don't know anything about a squirrel who lived in the tree. No. Oh, Scrappy, didn't you think? Was he the name of the pet hamster you had when you were 7? No. Come on, Cromitty. This is quite recent. Oh, I know. You have to remind me. Scrappy, the robot teddy bear. I only got him back at the start of the year, although he was hardly in the house more than a couple of days before he fell in the sink. Oh, that Scrappy, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, well. Poor Scrappy. Well, I'm sure he's beginning a new life as, spare parts for electric radios and things like that. What? No! Scrappy went to the toy hospital. Oh, did he? Oh, I'm very vague on it, I'm afraid. You have to speak to Yeti Uncle John. I'm sure he would remember more. Yes, he was supposed to be being repaired, but I've not heard anything about him. Nobody ever actually told me where he is. I want to go and visit him. Oh, I want an update. Grizzly and I want to go. Well, that's if Grizzly's free. Grizzly, would you be free?
Sorry, Paul, but I need to prepare for some exams, so I can't go this time.
No, it's fine. Well, once we know where he is next time you're here, you can come with me. But that doesn't mean to say we don't want to know how he's doing. Perhaps you should call Yeti Uncle John. I did see his taxi parking up, so he probably just finished a shift. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, Grizzly and I can have a little walk over there. Grizzly, Yeti Uncle John's got some really nice hot chocolate. We can go over there and we can have a cup of hot chocolate and ask him. Are you up for that before you have to go back?
Of course, I'm always happy to get some hot chocolate.
Yeah, I think he has marshmallows as well. Well, yes, you go over there, guys, and I need to get back down to the lab. All right, Cromitty. All right. Listeners, it might just be a good time for you to listen to something else, or listen to a piece of music, or something. We've got to get over to Yeti Uncle John, so you know how it goes. We'll speak to you again in a moment. Come on, Grizzly, let's get our coats on and head on over to the Magpie Hut.
Okay, I think Cromitty is hiding something.
What? Really? He wasn't very helpful, I must admit. I never thought he liked Scrappy. I think there was a bit of jealousy, but I don't know. Scrappy was lovely. Scrappy was my friend. I mean, as good as any of you guys are, he was my companion. He was my protector. No, we need to find out where he is, and I hope Yeti Uncle John will be the one to tell me. Come on, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Make sure you pull the door behind you. It's a bit stiff these days.
Okay.
Neon nights, shadows blending, lost in the sound. City's pulse, tension mending, love's underground. Electric buzz, hearts ascending. No limits, flow, connection sparking, dreams vivid now. Synced motions, lives embarking, no time to bow. Laser beams, feelings marking, mystic vow. Neon hearts intertwined, blending, lost in the sound. Cities pulse, no more pretending, love once unfound. Electric buzz, no descending, lift off the ground.
Oh, hello, guys. Wasn't expecting a visit from you two. How are you, Grizzly?
Oh, I'm fine. Studying to do some exams. How are you, Yeti, Uncle John?
Oh, you know, busy with the taxi, busy with the magpies. Or they're not in today. They're I don't know what they're doing. Something flying, flapping contest. I don't know what they're up to. Yeah. I've just been working, so I'm just chilling out. What are you after, guys? Well, we're kind of after a cup of your hot chocolate. Oh, really? Yes. Oh well. Yeah. I told Grizzly about that new brand you got. You liked the sound of it, didn't you, Grizzly?
Yes, of course.
Oh well, I'll put the kettle on. Oh dear. You know what? I feel bad. Oh yes. You know, if you'd have warned me you were coming, I'd have said we should go over to the spaceship and see Ick. I know what you mean, but he's not fully better yet, is he? I mean, he's better, but he's not really back to normal. Yeah, I know what you mean. He's resting, having to rest a lot. Yeah, it does worry me. I mean, I pop round about once a week, but sometimes he has a bit of a chat, but after about 10 minutes, he's kind of...
I'm afraid I'm going to have to go for a nap now, Uncle John. I'm sorry.
Yes, he was the same with me. I went over the other day with like a basket of fruit.
Oh, of course. How nice of you. But I'm afraid I'm about to go for my nap.
That's okay. I'll just leave him here.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you so much.
And the thing is, I don't like to bother him. I don't like to sort of... Yeah, I guess he's just recovering. I don't think there's anything sinister about it. Yeah, I know. He'll be back when he's ready, but yeah, it's just weird that he was away all that time, and now he's back, and yet we're not seeing him very often. I know. What must the listeners think? Yeah. Anyway, yes, Uncle John, that's not the only reason that we're here. I wanted to have a word with you about something. Didn't I, Grizzly?
Yes, let's stick to the main subject.
Oh, right. What, something more than hot chocolate? Yes. A little furry question. A little furry question? Whatever do you mean? I want to know about Scrappy. Oh, Scrappy. Scrappy, wasn't he the dog on Neighbours or something? No, that was Bouncer. Oh. Scrappy. Wasn't he a mascot You know, on that show we watched about mud wrestling. No, that wasn't Scrappy, no. You know who Scrappy was. He was my robot teddy bear. This is only going back about, I don't know, 6 months, less than that. Oh, that's Scrappy. Oh, sorry, Paul. My memory these days. It's funny that, isn't it, Grizzly? Comedy was just the same.
Yeah, just spill the tea, Uncle John.
Oh, what do you want to know?
We want to know the truth.
That's right, we want to know the truth. We want to know how he is. After he fell in the sink. You know, he got sent to the toy hospital. Teddy bear hospital, whatever. Well, why haven't we heard anything about him? Why hasn't he come home? Oh, well, you know how it is with these robot teddy bears. They've got quite an attitude. Oh, don't talk such a load of nonsense, Yeti, Uncle John. I want to go and visit him. I want to see him. I want to speak to him. I miss him. Yes. Oh, for goodness sake. Look, I don't think it's any secret that you and Cromitty, probably a lot of the others, weren't very keen on him. You probably thought he was going to steal your thunder or something. Steal my thunder? I don't have any thunder. Yeah, I couldn't keep thunder in this magpie hut. The magpies would hate it. It's an expression, Yeti, Uncle John. You're jealous of him. Jealous of my little friend, my new little friend. Grizzly's not jealous of Scrappy, are you? Are you, Grizzly?
No, not even a bit. And if you don't tell us the truth, I'm gonna use some spells to help you remember what happened, Yeti, Uncle John. So
you don't need to get me to remember. I know where he is. I'm sorry. Yes, it's true. We were a bit jealous of him. I mean, we never worked out who sent him you, did we? No, I don't know who sent him me. I don't know where he came from, but that doesn't matter. He's still my protector. In the time we find ourselves in, where there's people like Wilson Comet, not only threatening Reginald, but saying that he's threatening all of his friends, I think I could do with a protector. We could probably all do with our own Scrappy, for that matter. Yes, Paul, well, I've got the magpies. I don't need no robot teddy bear. Yeah, well, speak for yourself. Unless the magpies are willing to sort of guard us all, it could be arranged. Okay, well, maybe it could be arranged. I still want to see Scrappy, my Scrappy. Can you not give me the address? The address of the toy hospital, teddy bear hospital, whatever it is. But I suppose so. Oh dear. Yes, I've got it here. You better ring before you go, though. You know, like with most hospitals, they have a designated visiting hour. Right. Well, that's fine. I don't know why you want to get involved with this, Grizzly.
Well, because I really care about Paul, and he's sad because he wants his Scruffy toy.
Yeah. Grizzly can't even come this time. He has to go home. But he'll come another time. He's just being supportive. Oh, well, that's very commendable. You see, you don't need Scrappy. You've got Grizzly. But Grizzly can't be here the whole time. That's not the point. Scrappy is mine, and I want to know how he's doing. I guess I understand that. Anyway, well, let me just get the details for you. You can have your hot chocolate, and then, you'll be fine. Well, I hope that's true. I hope it will be fine. It will be. Don't worry. Oh dear. What do you make of that, Grizzly? At least hopefully we've got something out of him.
Yeah, I hope so, because there is no spell for making people think truth. I would need a particular potion which is kind of forbidden to use on people.
Yeah, well, don't forget about the time you turned him into a pie by mistake.
Yeah, it was just meaningless thread.
Yeah, I can't believe you never got to eat that pie. Oh well. Listeners, we're about to have some hot chocolate. I guess this is another opportunity for you to listen to some music or listen to a clip or something. And when we come back, hopefully we'll have the address, and I'll head to the toy hospital. So yes, Grizzly, thanks for being on the episode so far. We'll catch up with you at the end of the episode. I'll let you know how the whole visit went. I'm sorry you can't come to this on this occasion.
Yeah, sorry, Paul, I can't go with you, but I'm looking forward for the good news.
Yeah.
The chocolate is amazing.
You've got a very loud slurp there. I wonder what was going on for a moment. It's a bit hot for me. I'm letting mine cool down a bit. No, Paul, you got to drink it hot. You got to drink it hot. I can't. I'm not going to burn my mouth. I need to do speaking and stuff. Oh dear, oh dear. You're such a wimp. Yeah. Just drink it. Oh, yes, Uncle John. You too. Gosh. Anyway, listeners, we'll be back again soon. I won't be slurping. Not live on microphone, as it were. Oh dear, oh dear.
The Shy Life Podcast. We hope you don't forget it. A show that's quite bizarre. A show that features the Shy Yeti. Hello, hello, dear listeners. We hope you're having fun. Now it's time for something different before our time is gone.
Well, listeners, now's time for extra material. This time we're going to be talking to a recent friend of mine, Gary, who's from Dublin. Originally, we were going to, maybe we still will. I was going to do a whole episode with Gary, but I was recording at my parents' when we did this chat, and we were on Zoom, and the internet kept going down. His end, my end. It was a bit frustrating. We did manage to talk about music a bit, and we got to talk about films. Until I start to edit this, I don't know quite how much material I've got. But if you remember, Gary was the guy who sent me that message about that episode of a TV show. As far as I'm concerned, at time of recording, we don't know. We still haven't tracked that episode down. Toppy Smelly didn't know the answer, so if Toppy doesn't know, I don't know. Anyway, have a listen. Apologies for any problems with sound, and hopefully I'll have edited all the hiccups out and you won't notice. But anyway, this is Gary from Dublin and talking to me about his favourite music and the fact that we like weird, quirky, obscure things, and talking a bit about films. And he will be back. At least I hope he will, if I haven't scared him off. Actually, we've been chatting a lot and sharing a lot of voice memos, and I've sent him some horribly long voice memos, and he hasn't run away yet, so I think there's a good chance he'll be back. But anyway, have a listen to this. I think it's a fun chat, and thanks to Gary for sparing the time and putting up with the horrendous internet that we had that day. Okay, listeners, have a listen.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
That's all right. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all good.
Cool. Hooray! It works. I just thought I'd ask you the sort of things that we've been talking about, like when we first started talking about like things you like, but we can talk about anything you like, really. But,
okay. I have nothing prepared, so you'll have to.
No, that's fine. So I've lured you onto the Shy Life podcast, Gary, and I'm very, very glad to have you here. Is there anything you'd like to tell the listeners before I start asking you some questions? Is there anything about yourself that you'd like to? How would you introduce yourself?
No, I think lured is a very loaded term. Very sorry, I think very.
I left some biscuit crumbs, and suddenly you'd walked through the door.
I wandered in by mistake. Yeah, that seems to have what happened. No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head to flags. If you want to just hop into questions, that's good by me.
Yeah. So Musically, where do you stand? What would you say your favorite genre of music is? Any particular bands that you like?
Sure. Like my number one always is Elliott Smith. Has always been my favorite artist. Continues to this day. And very sad that didn't live in a time to have the opportunity to see him live. Outside of that, I like a lot of 90s music of different genres, mainly kind of rock stuff, but interested in sort of the grungier kind of 90s stuff. Like Nirvana, I like Hole and the Breeders and the Pixies. They'd all be kind of big for me. I also quite like a lot of the softer sort of rock music. So we talked about the Cardigans, and a lot of that sort of, I suppose, rock music that maybe lives a little bit more in the world of almost like easy listening. I quite like that. And then I suppose in more modern music, I guess I enjoy the music that is made for gay people. So I like Boy Genius and Chaperone and Charlie XCX and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, things that are made for gay boys essentially appeals to me in terms of modern
I like
music.
those too. I think we have a kind of, we definitely dovetail quite. I mean, some of those sort of like Nirvana and the Breeders and stuff, I very much associate that with when I was at university, and so I'm fond of those too. But I wasn't until I'd been to university for like 3 years that I kind of started going to gigs and things. I didn't start going. I started going to gigs in like '95, and so it's just as people like Supergrass and Elastica were doing well, and I got to see some quite good Britpop bands. And I like you. I love the Cardigans too. I had to check with Callum, my flatmate, or my ex-flatmate, but my best gig-going friends. That had we seen the Cardigans, and if so, when? Because some of it's all rather blurred, and I didn't necessarily keep the tickets to from the gigs to remember. And I think we saw them around the time of the last album in the mid noughties, but it sort of annoys me that they still tour, but we've had no new albums. But I guess they don't want to. But I was going to ask you about gigs that you've been to. Are there any, like, do those sort of follow the same sort of bands that you've just discussed, or are there other people you want to see and you've still not seen? Or?
Sure. So I go to a good amount of gigs. I usually go to like, I don't know, like small band sounds, like kind of mid-sized bands. So yeah, like I'd say I probably go to like 7 or 8 gigs a year, maybe more, I suppose. And then yeah, they would usually be like any touring kind of rock bands. I saw, who have I seen recently? And sometimes I'll just go to something purely because it seems like it'll be a weird time. So I went to Autobokeh Beaver maybe at the end of last year, and they're like, I guess like kind of a metal inspired kind of band from Korea, if I remember correctly. And like that show was just like crazy, and not really the type of music that I'd be super into. But yeah, in terms of like other gigs, I'm going to one this weekend for an Irish band called Pillow Queens. So they'd be like decently big. I think they played one of the American talk show hosts, either Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Fallon, I want to say. They played in Jimmy Fallon. And yeah, they're quite good. They have a new album that just came out or is coming out. So that'll be nice. But yeah, like I usually, particularly like before Christmas, I'll have a look at what kind of bands are coming that have gig tickets under 40 quid. And I'll be like, if there's someone I think is cool, I'll either ask for it for Christmas or just buy them and go. But yeah, I've got a few coming up. Mannequin Pussy
were the one you I was listening to on Spotify that you sent me. That I enjoyed them. They reminded me a bit of the Breeders and a few other bands from that sort of era.
Yeah, and they're cool. And I think, like, I suppose in a lot of the modern bands I like, they definitely are. There's a bit of a through line from '90s kind of rock music into that kind of music, which I think is nice. There's a real nice resurgence of, and I think we kind of talked about this as well. That kind of style of music with female vocals, I just think is very good. And I think you kind of enjoy it as well. And there's a bit of a resurgence around that kind of idea in recent years, which is kind of, well, suits me, is good. I'm also saying, I don't know if you know, I can never tell how big or small this band are, but Boa, they were sort of bopping around in the 90s.
I don't remember them. No, there were one or two other bands that were small, because I used to go and see small bands, and then obviously sometimes you get a good support band who, there was, I don't know that band, but I'm trying to think of some of the.
They're kind of a funny story to them in that they were a UK band, English, but the lead singer was English Japanese, and they toured their album, and for whatever reason they did really well in Japan and other parts of Asia, and then they essentially, for most of the 90s, they focused most of their gigs and stuff on Japan because that was just where the market was. And then kind of 20 odd years after their kind of initial fame, and they hadn't really toured, one of their songs went viral on TikTok, and they went from having, I don't know, maybe a couple of 100,000 listens on Spotify to having like 10 or 12 million now, and like they completely blew up. So they're touring at the end of the summer, and so I got a few tickets to that because I was just like, oh, that'll be cool to see them. But it's just kind of crazy you can't imagine what it's like to have a band that you've largely forgotten about, and you spend like the last 15 years just doing other stuff, and then suddenly you're kind of massively famous again in a weird way.
I've suddenly remembered one of the bands that you should check out that I went to see, a band called Fluffy. They're from the 90s. They did a single called Husband. I think that sort of fits in with sort of Mannequin Pussy type stuff. If it's on some of these things, you go back and look and you think, oh, they're bound to be on YouTube, and they were so obscure they're not even on YouTube. My goodness. I found a load of singles when I was clearing out a box at my parents'. I guess they were singles that, because I came back home for a year and did a work placement back in Salisbury, so that I kept buying singles and stuff. So some of those singles are still here, and I was thinking, some of these sort of early, either sort of early Britpop bands. Also, there was, after Britpop, there was sort of, I can't remember what they called them now, but they were trying to start a new, in the sort of like 97 or whatever, they were trying to get like a new version of New Romantics, that sort of bands, and none of them really took off, and it kind of. But I had some of those sort of band singles here, and I was trying to think, I wonder what these. I'll keep these if they're good, but I thought I'll go on YouTube and check them out rather than having to dig out a CD player. And yeah, some of those things just weren't even on YouTube. So there are still some things that are hard to find these days, but.
It's cool to have those, though. Like, I think it's I love stuff like that for a brief moment in time, a group of people thought like maybe this would be the next big thing, or like this will be a big genre. I have a load
I was quite up for that. I quite liked the idea of sort of early Duran Duran, like Mark II. That would have been cool. Not necessarily. I like that sort of like 80s, 81 sort of style, whereas it got a bit bloated in the mid 80s. But one of my favorite 80s bands is the Bangles. So that's that they're far more poppy, but I think they're very under appreciated. They did some really good albums and some really good album tracks, not just the big singles. But if I could have been in a band, I'd want to have been in the Bangles. So obviously, there had to be quite a lot of changes, but they look cool. They look very cool. Hi listeners, I'm at the toy hospital. It's on the outskirts of London. I got a train, then I had to get a taxi. It's in the grounds of quite a big old, I guess it used to be a manor house, but now it's a toy hospital. It's called Paradise Villas, though. This sounds more like a rest home than a toy hospital, but there we go. Oh, Paul. There you are. Cromitty, what are you doing here? I could not let you come here by yourself. Oh, I mean, if I'd known you were going to come with me, I would have. We could have shared a taxi. Oh, I walked from the station, Paul. Not as far as you think. You know, you're just slower these days. I am. Well, I'm glad you're here, I suppose. But I felt bad. I was talking to Yeti Uncle John. And yes, I guess we're both guilty of being jealous and overprotective of you. And, you know, Scrappy is there to help you and support you. We're just a little bit unsure about where he came from. Well, I don't know where he came from, but there's been nothing that he's done that has been negative as far as I'm concerned. Yes, but Yeti Uncle John said he was a bit passive-aggressive. Yeah, well, yeah, but, I don't know quite how he ended up in the sink, but that could be described as being aggressive. Well, that was an accident, Paul. So, Yeti Uncle John says. Okay, well, let's go in, I suppose. You did call ahead. I did, they're expecting me. I guess it doesn't matter that you're here as well. No, I'm sure. Okay, then let's go in. Gosh, it's such a nice building. It is, yes. Oh, there's reception. Let's go over. Hello? Hello, sir.
Hello, how can I help you?
I rang up earlier. My name's Paul Chayeti. I've come to visit a patient of yours.
Oh yes, I'm Richard Morningstar, and I'm headmaster here.
Oh, headmaster? I thought it was a hospital. Is it also a school?
It's kind of both. We have like academy for new toys to teach them how to please the children.
Oh, well that's good, isn't it, Cromitty? Oh yes, very advanced, but very forward-thinking. My name's Cromitty. I'm pleased to meet you. I am a scientist, actually. Yes, I hope it's okay that I'm coming along as well.
Oh, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have us listed? Do you know who we've come to see?
Could you please remind me the name of the patient?
Scrappy.
Scrappy. He's a robot teddy bear, yeah?
That's right, yeah. He's been here since about, I don't know, January, I think.
Okay, it's going to be second floor, room 77, the shelf number E.
Okay, thank you. Did you get that down, Cromitty? Oh, yes, I did, yes. I wrote it all down. Will you be around, Richard? I mean, will we see you again?
Yes, I can come in a moment if I will be needed. Here's a beeper. Just push the button if you need some help, and I will come.
Thank you very much. And are there nurses or I don't know, matrons or school teachers about? I don't know what the protocol is. Is there a cafe or anywhere we can get a drink?
Yes, there is like a cafeteria around this corner. The school is in another building, so don't worry about teachers or the toys.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, well, that's great. Thank you very much. Richard, can I just say, I don't quite know how this happened, and it's not your fault. I think my friends who brought Scrappy in originally failed to give my details properly. I should be the first point of contact from now on, because somehow along the way we haven't been updated about how Scrappy is. So I would quite like to talk to you about that when you pop up later. But if I could be first point of contact, because he's my bear ultimately.
Sure, we can update our database later.
Thank you. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Come on, Cromitty, let's head up to the floor. Oh, is there a lift?
Yes, right after here. You need to turn left and behind the stairs.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Come on, Cromitty. It's coming. Nice to meet you, Richard. He's quite handsome, isn't he, Paul? He is. You got your eye on him, Cromitty? No. I have my eye on. I don't know Martin. No, I don't know. Sure, love life, Cromitty. My love life is non-existent, but I have lots of crushes. I know you do. Oh dear. Well, I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry we didn't, keep you in contact more. Give your name as the first point. It's okay. There's just been so much going on. What with Bettina and Charlotte Shade showing up, and Douglas and Boo and all kinds of things. Well, there is no excuse. We should not have tried to keep you apart. Okay, let's get in a bit. Was it floor 2? Yes, floor 2. At least there's no annoying music in the lift. We're used to like in hotels. Very quiet, isn't it? It is quiet, but I guess not like the patients are necessarily making lots of noise. I suppose not. Okay, here we are. Just stand here, Paul, I think. All right. Okay, I'll let you lead the way. Yes, I think I've got the idea of the geography of this place. I'm not seeing other staff members. No, I can see. It's not like sort of hospital where you're going to have nurses 24/7. But I mean, what do they actually do? He's doing it all this time. Are they like? Presumably, some of the problem is that he got water in his circuitry. Why don't they just repair the circuitry and then return him to me? It's obviously not that easy, Paul. Obviously not. But I wonder if he's going through rehab or something. That could be possible, yes. Here we are. Oh dear. Where is he? I should be... Oh, look at that one. Oh, yeah, it's a bunny rabbit. Yes. Is it a Yeti or is it a bunny? A Yeti bunny. No, it's more bunny, I think. It's a good thing that... it's a shame that Grizzly's not here. He'd love this. Look, Paul, you just take a seat. I'll see if I can find him. Okay. I might call Grizzly actually and put my video phone on. Just show him the ward. Do you think they mind? I don't see why they would. But you just sit there. All right. Our listeners are just going to call Grizzly.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
Hi. Hi, Grizzly. It's you. I'm just giving you a quick call. How's the revision going for your exams?
I'm over it. My head is burning.
Oh dear. Well, I'm just calling you from the toy hospital. We just met the guy on the reception who's in charge. Well, I guess he's sort of in charge on a daily basis. Richard something or other. And we're just. I just wanted to show you with my camera. Look at all the different bears and bunnies and lions and I think that's a unicorn over there. They're all so cute. I know how much you love teddy bears and soft animals and things like I do. Aren't they cute?
Oh, you can't take me there. Don't take me there because I'm gonna steal all of them.
I don't know if all of them have, children or people waiting for them. Whether there are any orphans, I don't know. I wonder how many bears kind of get damaged after their owners have grown up and gone away. I wonder if any of them are orphans. I must ask Richard because maybe there would be some that you could adopt. How about that?
Okay.
You'd say that. Cromitty's just trying to find Scrappy for me, so I didn't have to wander around and round. I think he's coming back. Anyway, I just wanted to show you quickly what was going on. So I'll speak to you later.
Okay. Remember to update me.
I will, and I'll find out if any of them are up for adoption.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Oh, Paul, I found him. How does he look? Oh, he looks fine. He looks, I didn't want to go too close because, well, I think it's best that you be the first person that he sees, at least out of the two of us. Oh, what? Because he might not have such a good memory of you, Paul. But, well, yes. Well, I was just speaking to Grizzly. I just sort of showed him on my camera what the room looked like with all the different bears, and he got very excited and then a little bit sad. Oh, Paul, you know how much he likes these, animals and toys and bears. I just thought of a great idea. I was going to ask Richard if any of these patients are up for adoption. Well, what do you mean, Paul? Well, I just wondered if all of them have homes to go to when they're better. Good point. Yes, good point. I guess if you don't want Grizzly like adopting about 150 teddy bears, do you? 150? What do you think he is, an amateur? That'll just be on the first visit. Well, exactly, Paul. But how big is his flat? I know. Well, it's just a question I'm going to ask. Okay, well, come with me. Was he sleeping? Well, he looked a bit disorientated. But I'm sure when he sees you, he'll activate. Yes, he is supposed to be, user activated or something. Oh, of course, I can see him now. Oh, I've missed him so much. Yes, Paul, I know. Look, I'll leave you two together. Right, thank you. Scrappy, do you recognize me?
Scrappy,
Scrappy, it's me, Paul the Sky Yeti. Your father.
Scrappy.
Oh, you're speaking French. I know some Italian now. I do know some French. Je m'appelle. My name is Scrappy. Je m'appelle Paul un Shy Yeti, or in Italian, timida. Don't know what Yeti is in Italian or French, for that matter. Hello, little Scrappy. How are you?
Scrappy.
Oh, Scrappy, I was expecting you to be back to normal, but how are you? I need to speak to somebody. I'll press that beeper. Maybe Richard will come up, or somebody. Right. Don't you worry, Scrappy. I'll find out what's going on with you. I was hoping you were going to come home with me, but I don't think you're well enough yet. Oh dear. Do you remember me, Paul?
Scrappy.
I'm Shy Yeti. Huh? Yeah? You're my protector. You're my guardian. Oh, Scrappy. I'm so sorry. I should have been watching you that day. I can't believe you ended up in the sink.
Mission compromised.
What do you mean, mission compromised? What mission? Oh dear. Oh, property. Look out for that, Richard. I pressed the buzzer. I need to speak to him. Oh dear, Paul. How is he? I don't know. He doesn't seem much better than he was when I last saw him. I don't understand why they haven't been able to replace the parts that were damaged. I do have a theory about that, but I don't know if I should say so much. Well, I mean, you can say what you like. Presumably, the people who run the hospital will either agree with you or they won't. But I'm not even sure they will understand. What do you mean? Well, I think they might be struggling for parts for Scrappy because I think he comes from the future. Scrappy comes from the future. Yes, you see, that's why it's hard to find parts, because he is ahead of his time. There just aren't the parts. Well, we never did know who'd sent him. I know, well, somebody from the future has probably sent him. It doesn't tell us who it is, but yes, I wonder. I'll speak to Richard, but I don't want to worry him. I know what you mean. Not everyone takes it very well when you start talking about the future or other dimensions or space aliens. Yeah, well, I know, Paul. Don't worry. I think he's coming down. Oh, yes. Hi, Richard.
Hi, how can I help you?
I just wanted to talk to you about Scrappy. He still seems really disorientated. I kind of thought he'd recognize me. I mean, he's been here for months. What is it? Why is he so, well, why is he still so unwell?
His architecture is very unique. We were able to restore his skills to talk, but now his language model is compromised and he's speaking Japanese, Polish, French, sometimes English, but we can just, it's hard to set up one language on him. And also we're struggling with finding a good parts. Also, all the guns inside him, we don't want to trigger something that he would go and start massacre and killing toys and the stuff. Our best engineers are working on him, and we even bring some magical specialists, but it's hard to repair him.
I forgot he had actual weapons inside him. Gosh, yeah, I see now how difficult it must be. Well, yes, Paul. Richard, I mean, I think from what you're saying, we don't actually know where Scrappy came from. Would it be fair to say he's quite advanced for today's technology?
Yes, he's from future.
Richard, that's exactly what you were saying. Well, yes, Paul and I were talking about this. We weren't sure whether this is something that you would widely understand, but I realize that you're more, more educated in this whole matter than I ever expected. I'm sorry that I underestimated you, sir.
Don't worry, there are footprints on him of using a time warping magic. So someone created him in the future and with magic sent him in the past.
Yeah, we just don't know who. I mean, I guess we can speak openly. We do have a friend who has time travel capability, but he's not terribly well at the moment. But I don't know comedy. I mean, well, either of you. If there's any possibility that we can pinpoint exactly where he comes from, perhaps we could travel to the future, find the spare parts that are required, and then bring them back here, or take him to the future. But I don't know. Well, Paul, I guess it's I guess it's a possibility. It's a theory, but I don't know what do you think, Richard?
Unfortunately, it wouldn't work. We know he's probably from 10 years ahead from our year, but to travel in the particular timeline would be extremely hard. Probability that it will end up in the correct timeline is so small that I wouldn't recommend it. We just try to repair him with our current technology, but it's gonna take some time.
I didn't realize it was only 10 years in the future. I guess I was thinking hundreds of years in the future, which actually often seems to be easier to do. The big hops are easier than the small hops, but yes, Paul, 10 years is difficult. Oh well, it's an idea. I guess. Well, we'll have to leave him here, and let you continue with the work, Richard. And is it okay if we come and visit again? My friend Grizzly wants to come visit, but he wasn't able to make it today.
Yes, it's not gonna be a problem.
Oh, great. Oh, another question. Sorry, so many questions.
Yes?
Are any of the toys here, I mean, do they all have owners who are waiting for them to be repaired? Or are any of them looking for owners? Are there any orphans here?
At this floor, no, and in the hospital part there are no orphaned toys, but we have toy orphanage where we sending the toys that we received from adults that don't want their toys anymore. We repairing them, making them look new, and putting for adoption for some time. And if for a month or two there is no someone that want to adopt them, we just sending them to human orphanages for kids to grow with those kids and make them happy for some time, and then there is like life cycle. They getting adult, and the toys get back to us, and we repair them, renew, and send them the orphanage again.
Oh. Well, the only reason I ask is, I mean, I'm quite a big ally of bears and things, but I don't quite know how much space I've got in my own house. Obviously, my priority is Scrappy, but I do have a friend, the Grizzly, who I mentioned, and he probably would be up for adopting some bears. So maybe when he comes, I'll get you two to talk. In a way, you remind me of him. I don't know what it is. Something about it. But what do you think, Cromitty? What do you think? So something. So yes, I know what you mean, Paul. But they're quite different height. Yet they are. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be okay, Richard.
Yeah, that will be okay.
Right. Is it okay if I just have a few more words with Scrappy before we go?
Go ahead.
I'll go back downstairs with Richard, and do you remember the way to the cafe? Yeah, I think so. Back to reception, and then just around that corner or something. That's right. I think that's right, isn't it, Richard?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay. Okay, I'll just speak to Scrappy. Maybe I'll take a little video just to remind me of him. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'll catch up with you downstairs. It won't be much longer, I promise. That's fine, Paul. Listeners, I'm just going to have a little word with Scrappy. You can stay or go with the others. Whatever suits you best. Scrappy. Scrappy, it's me again. Shy Yeti. How are you feeling?
Protect, love, one. Protect.
Yeah, that's right. Protect your loved one. I'm your loved one. Huh? Yeah. That's why we're so close. Because you're my Scrappy and I'm your Yeti. Oh dear, yes. Well, obviously falling into the sink did slightly compromise your mission, but don't worry, they'll make you better. They'll make you better. Oh gosh, Scrappy, we need you more than ever. Things have been going on recently. We all need protection. We always need protection, but we really need you. You've got to get better, Scrappy. You've got to get better. Protect who? Protect who? Remember me. Please remember me, Scrappy. Oh, you remembered. You remembered me. Oh, Scrappy. Oh, I promise you we'll be back for you soon. They're going to do everything they can to make you better. And then, I know we weren't together for long before that tragic accident happened, but I promise you we will. Everything will be back to normal. And we'll be together again. We'll be back together again.
Scrappy can protect.
Yes. Yes, you can protect me. You can.
Scrappy can.
Can't? Why not?
Mission compromised.
Oh, I know that, but once they've mended you, you'll be able to. Things will be back to normal. Don't worry about it. They'll be able to sort you out. They will. They really will.
System malfunction.
Oh dear.
System malfunction.
Sir, I'm sorry. I have to ask you to leave. I've got to plug him back into the circuits.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, sir. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Scrappy. Dear. I hope I've not overexerted him.
Oh no, he's fine. He gets a bit like this in the afternoon.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Bye.
Goodbye.
Mission compromised.
Neon dreams turn the night alive. Pulse race, heartbeats collide. DJ spin, the decks ignite. Lose yourself in the city lights. Or get full of something. And can't you take that chance? Step into out the way. I'm not love you. Lights flash, let's go, let's go. Beat drop, feel the vibe in the crowded show. Bassline up all night, let the rhythm flow. Glow sticks, electric nights in the laser zone. None of the set, you gotta go. Back down once a ball line. Let's fight to the high become. Love straight, little teeth inside. Take tight to burn all alive. Or get full of something. And can you take that chance? Step into out the way. Not love you. Lights flash, let's go, let's go. Hands up, triggers feelings for the body side. Hands up, touch the sky, euphoria's on high. Flashing colors, lasers blaze in this perfect maze. Sweat drips, energy surge in the city's core.
Listeners, we're having trouble with Zoom today, so who knows how much we're going to talk about today. So Gary may be back another time, but we'll move on to. So we may talk about music again at another point because we have lots of things from our non-podcasting conversations. We have quite a lot in common with our music, and we both kind of. You mentioned that sort of weird. You kind of like weird things or obscure things, or which I know it's perhaps hard to explain. I understand what you mean, but how would you put it if you were trying to explain to the listeners what you mean by that?
Yeah, it's a hard thing to, I suppose, like define, but I think the things that didn't last, I think are really interesting. When I turned 18, I got my friends pooled money together and they got me a record player, vinyl player. And so I went around to all my family and collected up all the unwanted vinyl. And what I found most interesting was like back through old Top of the Pops records and finding songs of bands that like had their brief, maybe a one-hit wonder, or maybe they had like a handful of songs, but like for a brief moment were like obviously popular enough to be on top of the pops. And but like I think that's so, I don't know, there's just something so fascinating about things like that. Or like I have a load of records from my uncle that were like Irish punk bands from like the quite late 80s. So like the punk thing probably was maybe less relevant in the UK, but there was a load of bands in kind of in around Dublin who thought this was like really cool. And very few of those lasted. But like obviously there was a moment where like there was loads of them, and I think maybe one of them kind of continued into the 90s and things like that. But I just think things like that are so interesting. It's interesting to see like what little pockets of people are doing, or like what were the ideas that were like really interesting but didn't make it into the mainstream, but obviously a group of people really cared about this thing or really into it. Or yeah,
I mean, the Charlotte podcast hopes to be one of those. We want to be in that little niche. It's our only way that we're going to be remembered is a Gary or a future Gary discovering us in 20 years' time when we're sort of curled up in a corner somewhere in a strange part of the internet. But
when the aliens come and download the internet, I'm sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's what my English teacher used to say at school. He said because I was writing weird stories back then, and I was very much into. I went through a stage of wanting to write sort of murder mystery type stories, like because I liked Miss Marple and things like that. I never liked detectives, but I liked like old women detectives or. And my English teacher said if the world was destroyed, whatever, and there was only your stories were left, they'd think that the world was all about murderous old ladies in aspidistras, and yeah, I don't know where he got the. I don't think I read about aspidistras. Aspidistra is quite a hard word to spell, but yeah, definitely murderous old ladies or detective old ladies. Yeah.
Well, look, there's Richard Osman's made a good career off murderous old ladies, so
yeah, they're an interesting genre. Oh, actually, before we move on to anything else, obviously you've been to shows in Dublin and stuff, but did you? Were any of your trips to the UK? Because I know you have had trips over here. Were they for gigs or were they for other type things?
The only trip I made to the UK for a gig was to see Boy Genius last summer, which is actually great because it was like it was almost like a festival because there's people on all day. So like Boy Genius were the headlines, but Soak was the first act. They're actually Irish and they're really good. And then it was Ethel Cain and then Muna and then Boy Genius. So yeah, for me, like very worthwhile. Ethel Cain was really good. I'm a big fan of hers. So yeah, but no, all my other trips have been mainly kind of rugby trips or visiting, that kind of thing.
Yeah, listeners, Gary likes getting muddy, and running around and doing stuff that is impossible for me to do. But I can applaud. I can applaud. We could all applaud. We'll come and see Gary play rugby. Yeah, I actually talking about Boy Genius. I was quite impressed when you said you liked Boy Genius because I knew who Boy Genius were. Because yeah, I mean, YouTube sometimes helps me out. My friend Adam in America sometimes helps me out. Callum sometimes helps me out, but he'd sent me Boy Genius, and I knew that they were a super group. And I think I only knew one of them from the super group because somebody else had introduced me to one of the singers of Boy Genius. But yeah, but not strong enough, isn't it? That's the one. That's the main song I know by them. But I have listened to some others. But so at least I knew.
Yeah. And I love that, that description of a super group, because I think for me in my head, it has such a connotation of like a load of like 40-year-old kind of guys with like long hair who've all been in their bands and whatever. And like, that's totally fine. And there are some super groups that I quite like, but I sort of, love that it's a super group, but kind of flipped on its head because they all make sort of rock music, but not maybe the rock music that you would associate with super groups. And then obviously it's a group of women rather than a group of kind of old guys. So yeah, I just, I think it's cool to see.
Yeah, because I was thinking of other bands like Breeders that like Juliana Hatfield or the Juliana Hatfield Three. I think she fits into that group, so into that sort of same genre. And Belly, who did a song called "Feed the Tree" that was a relatively big hit back in the mid-90s. And Juliana Hatfield never had a big hit, I don't think, over here. I'll tell you how I got into Juliana Hatfield 3. So one day I was in the record store and there was a single called My Sister by Juliana Hatfield. And on the front cover, there were two guys with two hairy guys, ottery guys. I think they were the drummers, or they were, they were the other two that made the three. And I literally bought the single because of the cover of the. I didn't even know what the song sounded like. I just bought it. Actually, it turned out to be a really good song. So it just shows that sometimes the cover, always judge a book by its cover. But
I feel like that's a universal gay experience is buying something because there's a man you like on the front of it. I think that's
sometimes it pays off. It could have been dreadful, but yeah, I bought quite a lot of Juliana Hatfield. I'd love to, if I ever met her, I'd love to say to her, "Well, I got into your band because of the cover of one of your singles, and then I ended up buying lots of your albums." I'm not sure what you think about that. She probably love that. But yeah, it's funny sometimes when you buy something by somebody and you don't realize that you're going to be buying that person for the next 30 years or something. I remember in about 94 there was. I've just bought a random single because there used to be a show called The Chart Show, which was videos rather than like Top of the Pops type style show. And the amount of music that I got into from The Chart Show, it was on Saturdays on ITV, and they often played things. They would champion groups that or singers that weren't necessarily doing that well. Even I remember people like Suzanne Vega, who might have had the odd hit, but there was one album they really championed, and it's the only album I really have by her. And none of the singles were hits, but they played all 4 singles over the course of the month. It really got me into a load of bands that I wouldn't have ever have known about. I miss not having at least some, a TV show like that can direct you towards new stuff. That it's a lot harder. You have to do a lot more homework these days to find new bands or what about movies? What would you say your favorite movies are?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Or genre of movie, if it's hard to pinpoint.
Favorite genre of movie is sci-fi movies and things like Arrival. I really like Arrival. I love both of the Blade Runner movies, though I prefer Blade Runner the original rather than 2077. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, like I love all that kind of stuff. I love all of the Alien expanded franchise stuff, even the really bad ones. I like all those.
I love those last two. The ones with Guy Pearce in, although you can't really tell it's Guy Pearce. I can't remember what they're called now, but I really love those. I've seen Alien so many times. Those other two, probably be my sort of guilty pleasure go-to ones. I think about Alien films is that I like horror and they're almost horror in space, so they cross the genres quite nicely. But
yeah, and I think I saw the first Alien, maybe it's Aliens I saw first, but watching TV, I was maybe like 12 or something, watching TV really late, and it just came on, and I remember my dad came in and he was like, "Oh, we have to watch this," and we sat down and like watched Aliens, and I remember just being like, "Oh, I didn't know there was like movies like this." I don't know. I just I never it was so it wasn't quite a horror movie like any horror movie I'd seen. It was like sci-fi, but it wasn't like not silly, but like it wasn't like Star Wars, lightsabers and backflips and stuff like that. I was like, "Oh, whatever this is," I was like, I want more of this." Really
I tell you, there's a movie I should recommend to you. I got into like a lot of Italian horror and giallos, which are more like crime, psychological thrillers. But the Italians were very good at stealing ideas and doing their own versions of things. And there's an Alien ripoff, and it's called Alien 2 on Earth. And it was made before Aliens. So I guess they didn't know that they weren't going to go along the Alien 2 route. So it's from about 1980. And there are things like they do their own version of a chest burster, but it's not a chest burster. It comes out from somewhere else. But it doesn't get horribly sort of horrible. There used to be a show called Space 1999, which was kind of for kids, and I kind of feel like Alien 2 on Earth is sort of like Space 1999 meets Alien. So somewhere in between. Perhaps it's more like a 15 than an 18. But what I love about it is that they filmed in these massive caverns in Italy. So even though they haven't got much money, they've got a great set and it looks good. And yeah, I mean, it's available. I'm sure you can, if you can't find it on a streaming service, it's probably £5 on Amazon or something. I love it, but I also found out that other people like Tarantino and sort of those sorts of more weird, obscure film-loving directors love it too. So I don't feel like, you know, it's just me liking bad films. I think it would appeal to your sort of weird, obscure side. So I definitely recommend that. I know what you mean with sci-fi. I'm not so much into the Star Wars backflip stuff either. But even though that's the thing, it took me a while to realise, being a Doctor Who fan, that I don't necessarily like all sci-fi or all types of sci-fi. And Doctor Who also goes into, particularly old style Doctor Who, goes into lots of genres anyway, and supernatural and ghosts and all sorts of things. So, and also is often, I tend to like sci-fi when it's set on Earth more than I like it when it's in space sometimes. I like it when things come down here, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I love Invasion of the Body Snatchers, particularly the 70s version with Donald Sutherland. I need to rewatch that as he's just passed away. But what about other genres? Do you like comedies, or do you like?
I like movies more generally. I probably gravitate if I'm thinking like, if I was to be on my own, I was going to put on a movie, what would I put on? I quite like, I don't know, I guess like the I'll describe it. I'll say a term, but it doesn't really capture it. And then I'll describe some movies and it'll probably make more sense. But I quite like sort of forward-looking, I'm going to say like post-apocalyptic movies, but like kind of in a wider scope of like movies like The Road, or it's not really post-apocalyptic, but it's post-something. Children of Men.
I mean, I do watch a lot of the sort of Walking Dead style things, which are post-apocalyptic in their own way.
I do also love zombie movies as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to talk about some Italian zombie movies sometime. I'll have to recommend some if you haven't seen them.
The Shy Life Podcast. It's the home of the Shy Yeti. It's a show that's pretty weird, but one we hope you won't forget it. Hello, dear listeners. We hope you've had some fun. We're getting near the end now, but our time is not quite gone.
Feel a bit down or bored. Why you got to speak to me? I know, but the news wasn't quite what I was expecting. I know, but well, they said they'll be able to repair him. It'll just take a while. No, but when I saw him, after he'd gone downstairs, it's like I talked to him for too long, and he started saying stuff, and he said he sort of remembered me, but then he said he couldn't guard me anymore. But I tried to say to him that once he's better, things will be back to normal. Well, that's if they can get him back to normal. Of course they will, even if it takes 10 years. Eventually we'll catch up with the technology, even if we don't time travel. But Paul, you're thinking in the long term. I'm thinking in any term. Scrappy back at home well again. Yes, well, you're going to have to visit him here for now, aren't you? I suppose so. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. We're running out of time. I'm sorry? I said we're running out of time. The episode's nearly over. Are you distracted? I'm sorry. Oh, no, I was just noticed that Richard had come in. Oh, Comedy? He's really very handsome. Comedy? Oh, he's coming this way. Hi, Richard. Just enjoying the hot chocolate here. I think it's actually better than Yeti Uncle John's. Don't you, Comedy? I think so. Yes. Thank you for your help today, Richard.
It's my pleasure. Are you guys ready to update your contact information?
Yes, I've written it down for you. There we go. And maybe you would like my phone number just in case. Just a minute. I'm the main contact. Doesn't really need your contact number. I've written it down anyway, Richard. You know, if you ever want to talk to me about technological developments, because Paul, he doesn't know so much about technology.
Or maybe your expertise will be required during our studies. We'll let you know.
Yeah, right. I guess so. It's well, I suppose you will be finishing for the day soon. Do you have a wife and family that keep you busy?
Oh no, I'm particularly artificial, so I never leave that place.
Well, that makes sense. Well, that's very good. Yes. So you're here all the time. Very good.
Yes, I never leave. It's my mission to bring joy to those who love them with broken toys.
So I guess sorry, what is the official term for your existence?
I'm an android.
Android. So do androids go on dates or not?
We only do things that are programmed as our mission objective.
Oh, what a shame. It is a bit of a shame. Paul, I saw him first. Comedy, this is not appropriate. Well, thank you, Richard. We'll see you again soon. You've got our details. You've got our details now.
Yes, I will contact with you if there's gonna be any update, and don't hesitate to call me if you want any updates or just visit.
Yes, of course. Thanks, Richard. We won't keep you from your mission.
Bye.
Well, I can't believe you were chatting him up. Look, I'm the one who's single. I'm single. You're not single. You're at least somehow attached to at least Yeti Uncle John or Martin, at least in some form. Well, Paul. I can't believe it. Doesn't look like he's up for dating anyway. Would you want to date an android? I'm not against it. I mean, he's quite tall. Paul. He's got a nice voice. I saw him first. You already said that. It's not appropriate. Anyway, he's not interested. Oh, well, you're going to be coming back to visit Scrappy every day, are you now? No. Just saying. It's not just you who can flirt with people. I've rather got out of the habit. Oh, Paul. Oh, well, listeners. Looks like it's coming to the end of the episode. Things with Scrappy are... At least we know where he is. He's doing as good as he can. At least I can come and visit him now. Yes, you can, Paul, and visit Richard. Great. But yeah, so that's about all we've got time for. Join us again soon, and we will keep in touch with Scrappy, and we'll keep you informed about how he's doing. And yes. Right, let's say goodbye. Bye for now. Yes, Paul. Goodbye. Goodbye to Richard, too. Yeah, stop it. Okay, listeners, bye now. Bye-bye. Well, I'm glad it went all right, Paul. Well, I mean, it went okay, but it's not exactly what I was expecting or hoping, even. Yes, well, you'll just have to keep visiting him. At least you know where he is now. Yes. I'm going to ring Grizzly. That's right, Paul, I've got to get off. Who's this Richard that Cromarty mentioned to me? Are you jealous, Uncle John? I'm not jealous. I'm just always interested in names of men that Cromarty might mention. It's not exactly that. Don't worry, Richard is an android, works at the toy hospital. We both had our eyes on him, but he's not interested because he's an android. Oh, well, that's all right then. Well, I'm off. Bye, Yeti, Uncle John. An android. Oh dear. I think I've heard it all now. Charming. Just going to ring Grizzly.
Oh, hey, Paul. How's your visit?
Well, he's not doing as well as we thought. He's sort of functioning more than he was, but we pretty much established that he's from the future. We kind of knew that, but they also seem to know that. They think he's about 10 years from the future. So some of the pieces they need, they don't have yet because they've not been invented. And I did suggest, or Cromarty and I suggested, that perhaps we tried to do a little hop into the future, but those little hops are always quite difficult. And also the guy there, Richard, that we spoke to, he didn't really think that, I don't know, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff, that it wouldn't be possible. So I guess we just have to wait. It's a little bit upsetting. I spoke to him. He sort of recognised me, but he sort of also was saying that he couldn't be my protector anymore. But I said to him, if he gets better, of course he can. But Cromarty and I made a bit of an idiot of ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, we both flirted with this Richard guy. He was kind of tall and had a nice voice, deep voice, and anyway, he was an android. So and he was an android that was programmed to not he wasn't a sexy android. I mean, he wasn't. He looked quite sexy, but he wasn't. He didn't have a. You know what I'm talking about. We made an idiot of ourselves.
He don't have a specific device.
No, yeah, he
people.
He had no he didn't have a flirting module. Let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that you should have seen us. We were rivals, Cromarty and I, at least for a few moments until we learnt the truth. But,
okay, but back to the future. Did he said how Scruffy landed in today times?
No, nobody really knows how he got here or who sent him. But no, don't really know anything more about that. We just know that he is from the future. Yeah.
Curious if that was some time vehicle, magic.
On this show, it could be anything, Grizzly. It could be absolutely anything. I guess we'll learn eventually, hopefully. It was good to see him anyway, and next time we go, we'll both go over together. You'll get to meet Richard. I was saying to Cromarty, he kind of reminded me a bit of you. I don't know what it was. Yeah, don't know. Anyway, well, I can hear the theme music playing, so I better say goodbye. And
I still have a question.
Oh, go on.
What about adoption?
Oh, yeah, we asked. They're in the hospital they aren't to be adopted, but they have a separate wing of the place that is like a place where there are bears to be adopted. So yes, it can be arranged. We can talk to them about that when you come over next, when we go over.
Okay.
I knew that would make you happy. Sorry, I should have been the first thing first thing I told you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Better go. You take care. We'll speak soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I gotta go now. Bye.
I want to go with you.
Gotta go. Bye.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Goodbye. Yes. Goodbye.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
Thank you, darling, and you too. Bye-bye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
Oh dear. What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
That is so cringe, oh my god.
You're a man of culture as well.
Listeners, it's the end of the episode. It's been a long day. I don't know. I hope Scrappy's okay. It's nice to know where he is anyway, and that he's in good care. I think Richard and his team will look after him. I bet he's there in his little bed, being tucked up by the nurse. Oh, Scrappy. I hope he's okay.
Protect the future. Protect the future. Protect the future. Protect Yeti. Yeti must be protected. Yeti.
I hope Scrappy's all right. Oh dear. I really hope we find out who sent him though, and why. I guess we'll find out eventually. Oh well. Bye, listeners. Bye-bye for now.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Well, gotta tell you, I didn't expect that.
What the hell just happened on this show? I mean, seriously, reverse it, cause I lost. What's going on? What happened?
Man, was that worth it or not? Oh my goodness, that was a darling little shoe.
Whoa, I love that one. Great show, Paul. Well, that was a good shoe.
727.
How beautiful is that?
Oi, oi, that's your lot.
Bye.
I mean, in this time, the time we find ourselves in, where there are people like Wilson Comet threatening Reginald and saying that potentially they would, and saying that potentially he would. Sorry, my dad's sneezing.
Yeah, I hear it. Very loud.
In the time we find ourselves in, where there are people like Wilson Comet who are threatening not only. For goodness sake. I can always tell when an episode is recorded where it's recorded because there's always some noise my dad makes. Such a wimp.
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
You can always call me.
Et voilà.